Well, dear ones, when I have a difficulty that would trouble me, so to speak, well, I handle it best, I think, when I obviously thank God for it, but in particular see it as this is an opportunity to not fuss, not stress. Remind myself God is all powerful and loves, and that this is a blessing, therefore. I'm going to treat this as a practice. Not only a practice, but in some sense, a very strong learning situation in which I'm going to earnestly practice trusting, not fussing, not every time my mind goes to it and with some concern, simply say, Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. And then dismiss the concern. I've left it to God. It's in his hands. And he's a lovely God. He's always provided wonderfully. I might remind myself of some of the similar situations I've been in where he's come to the rescue and things have turned out fine. And I would have fussed and worried and stressed to no need. So the same now. Of course, you still need to be motivated to do what is appropriate in the situation. If as like I am now about to possibly have to move. I've sort of been given notice, it's not clear. Move accommodation, and I'm not at all sure where I can manage to move to. Okay, you're going to trust him for it. This is your great opportunity to trust. And that way, you're not going to be stressed. And you're much more likely to be sensitive to God's leading as to what's next and the solution, most likely to whatever the problem seems to be. In other words, you're saying, this is not a problem, this is a blessing. And in trust and love, I'm going to thank you for it, Lord. And you do that when it occurs to you that it's a problem. You stand against it. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. And you say to yourself, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy paths. Got it? Practice it, dear one. It'll be a tremendous blessing to you. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. And what's the basis behind this? He's an all-powerful God that loves us. That's what I value. That's my God. And I'll have no other. He's an all-powerful God that loves us all. Therefore, every detail of your life and my life, of all lives, are actually in his hands. And certainly as children, we are not going to understand necessarily what he's doing and why, nor even get the hang of the lessons that we are confronted with, or blessed with, I should say. But we can trust the teacher, God, our Heavenly Dad. And we would miss so much blessing if we didn't. What a shame. So we do our part. Our part is to trust our Heavenly Dad. And we will watch to see him do his part and love him more and more. Yes, as a consequence. Yes, because of self-interest. Of course, we are children. But we love our children. How much more our Heavenly Dad loves us. So, far from it being a trial and a difficulty and a problem, it's a great blessing, and it accelerates us into fullness of life, here and now, life eternal. In this world, into the next, of course. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.